Hi, everyone. I'm excited to share a topic that is both a driving force for societal progress and cornerstone of business success, and that is inclusion. So, how do we bring inclusion to our business? Inclusion in business, in all its essence, means creating an environment where every individual, regardless of their background, feels valued, respected, and heard. And it's all about recognizing unique strengths and perspectives that each person brings to our organization. And we all know that. We've read about that. It's all about leveraging these differences to drive innovation and success. And we have to remember that this is not just confined to our employees, but it encompasses other internal and external stakeholders. Think of members of other teams within the organization. Think of clients and suppliers of the communities we serve. Diversity and inclusion stand as both moral imperative and a fundamental business strategy. We all know that. We've seen research and we've seen uh, stats that says that inclusive organizations are very productive. They're very successful in reaching their business goals. Because, in every corner of our society and in every business, diversity is really a reality. It's everywhere. However, it's the intentional and purposeful integration of equity and inclusion that transforms diversity from fact into a force. So it's not really just enough to simply have diverse voices at the table because true progress really lies in creating an environment, a workplace where every voice is not only heard, but valued. And again, this is the essence of inclusion. Now, it's essential to understand that inclusion is not just exclusive to medium or large organizations because inclusion extends its profound impact to small businesses, even solo entrepreneurs. In fact, the power of inclusion is magnified in these settings. So, for example, let's look at small businesses. Every member in a small business plays a critical and pivotal role because the dynamic in a small business is quite intimate. And so, decision makings or decisions, they really have a direct impact, an immediate impact in the business goals. So, inclusion here means involving everyone in shaping the business culture, policies, and practices of the organization. Like even for solo entrepreneurs, inclusion holds great significance because it's all about recognizing the diverse perspectives within ourselves and being mindful of the biases and preconceived notions that might influence our decision making in terms of how we do business, how we tailor our products and services to meet a diverse array of demands from our clients. And this is very important in ensuring that by having that awareness, it ultimately leads to a more sustainable and thriving business. And again, while inclusion is crucial for businesses of all size, it's worth noting that larger organizations, because of they have the scale and they have the resources, they have the unique opportunity to lead in the space. When I work with leaders, I use this model to guide them in assessing effectiveness of their current inclusion and diversity equity initiatives. And these are questions, they're not groundbreaking questions because they've been used time immemorial. They've been used to systematically gather information and provide a well-rounded view of a given situation. And this is the 5WH model of questioning: who, what, why, where, and how. Because each element of these questions addresses specific dimensions of inclusivity, and it can provide us with a comprehensive approach to driving systemic positive change. So let's start with who. What kind of questions can we ask? We can ask, who are the key stakeholders in inclusivity? So identify individuals, groups, and entities that are directly involved or impacted by our inclusivity efforts. Next is, who is represented in decision making and leadership roles. So again, assessing the diversity within leadership team and key decision makers, these are very important because we ensure that representation is reflective of the organization's diversity. The next question that we can ask, that we need to ask, is what? What questions? What policies and practices foster inclusivity, as well as what initiatives and programs promote inclusivity? Because this way we can assess the gaps, what is working and what is not working, and how we can improve that. The third question is the why question. It's going back to our mission, to our core values. Why is inclusivity vital to our organization's success? And why does diverse leadership matter really in our organization? It's all about creating that awareness and going back to the values going back to the mission and vision of the organization. The next question is asking when. When are inclusivity practices integrated into business operations? And then after that, we can also include the question about being tracked, the metrics, the KPRs. When are inclusivity metrics tracked and analyzed? The next question pertains to where. Now that we have identified the who, the what, and the why, and the when, we can identify the where. Where are inclusivity gaps evident within the organization? So these are identifying specific areas where inclusivity may be lacking. As well, we can ask the question, where can inclusivity efforts be strengthened? Again, we have this effort already, but how else can we strengthen them? And lastly, asking the how question. How can communication foster inclusivity? Because it is very important that we evaluate the internal and external communication channels we have within the organization, because it's the only way that we can ensure that inclusivity and all voices are heard and valued, and communication is distributed to all. And also, we can also ask, how can inclusivity be integrated into company culture? Again, going back, exploring strategies for embedding diversity, equity, and inclusion into the company's cultural fabric. Okay, so these are very basic questions, but sometimes it's well forgotten. So it's always go back to having that foundation, the basic questions of the 5WH, to be able to get a more comprehensive approach in assessing the programs that you have when it comes to diversity, equity, and inclusion. Because employing this model, you can gain deeper insights into the inclusivity within the organization again, because it's very structured. And before I end this talk, I'd like to leave you with a valuable resource to further inspire and guide your inclusivity efforts. I've written a book. It's called Unhide Yourself, Break Free from Bias, Stigma, and Stereotypes. And in this book, you'll find compelling stories of leaders who prioritize inclusion. These stories reveal not only the why inclusivity matters, but also how these leaders successfully implemented successful inclusive practices and how it impacted their teams and their organization. So I highly recommend. It's available in Amazon if you have leaders whom you want to support in terms of DEI. You can recommend this book to them. It's available in Amazon.com, Amazon.ca. So again, if you've been using the 5WH model to assess your current business practices, please continue doing so. If not yet, you can start using it today, because we have to remember inclusivity is not an endpoint, it's a dynamic process of continuous improvement. Thank you once again for being with me a few minutes here this morning on a Friday. Thank you for your commitment to building a more inclusive and equitable future for our clients, for our organizations, as well as for our society. And this is Maria Drueco of theinclusionjourney.com.